Have you ever wished that you had a master floral designer that you could have stand beside you step by step and teach you the process of floral design? My name is Kirby Holt. I'm a master floral designer with more than 25 years of experience in the business, and I want to show you step by step how to create beautiful floral designs with the kits from myfloraldesign.com. I hope you enjoy this video and this series. I have a great arrangement for you, very interesting style techniques that maybe you aren't familiar with. I'm really excited to get to share with you today. I'm going to do an arrangement, and really it'll almost look like a sailboat when we get finished, and we're using an orchid, some grasses, some pea gravel, really interesting elements, and we'll end up with a really interesting design. I'm going to start with this little metal canoe shaped container. We've already glued a little bit of styrofoam in there for you, and you'll notice that we don't have moss on it covering up. And one of the reasons is we're going to use some pea gravel to both bring weight to the bottom of the arrangement, but also to cover our mechanics. I'm going to just put a little bit in there right now, so I'll give a little bit of weight to the container, and then when I finish with the arrangement, we'll finish adding a little bit more to it so that we can hide all of the styrofoam and the mechanics, and the flowers just appear to be growing right out of that gravel that we have at the base of the container. So to begin with, I'm going to take this stem of orchids, and they're really pretty quality orchid. And when a flower is going to be the main feature of an arrangement, it's really important that it appears very real and very natural, and that's what I love about this one that I have today for you. I'm going to strip away some of this plastic at the bottom of the stem and just use a knife, and we'll find the wire because it's buried in there under that plastic, and by getting down to the wire, I can bend just a little bit of a hairpin on that. And this is important when creating an arch in the arrangement or in the shape of the stem, because that little hairpin will hold it and keep it from swiveling around in your styrofoam. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of glue, and I have my glue in a hot glue pan here beside me. You could just take a glue gun and put just a little bit of glue with your glue gun, and notice that I'm making the bloom of the orchid is facing away from me as I insert that in. And I'm going to go into the side of that styrofoam instead of to the top and push it in real well. And then I'm going to just gently bring that orchid over and create a little bit of an arch or a bow. It almost looks like it's bowing. And see how I have a little bit too much of a bend here and here? I want to soften that so it just curves real gently and we don't have any tight bends in it. See how that has really given that a really pretty graceful flow, just so that you get that bow into it rather than a hard turn or a hard twist. And then I'm going to take some of these pieces of bamboo, and you may have to trim yours depending on the length that we have in the kit. You'll find that those may vary in length just a little bit, but I'm going to put this one to one side. Now, if you are trimming that, what I usually do is just take all of the bamboo and drop it on the table. That way all of the ends are together, and then you can trim them as needed at the bottom, because when you trim, sometimes the bamboo will split, and we can use that's going into the styrofoam rather than having that split end up at the top. So just a dab of glue on those, and you can again just do that with a little bit of your hot glue on with your glue gun. And I'm going to cluster these in real tightly together and get them all at close to the same height. They do not have to be touching perfectly all the way up, because they aren't completely straight. This is a natural bamboo product, and it won't necessarily stand completely straight, because nothing in nature is completely straight. Everything has a little bit of a bend or a twist. But you can see as I'm putting these together, I'm keeping that height fairly level at the top and keeping them fairly straight and tight together. So I'm just creating an axis right up. It's not really perfectly in the center. You can see we're off-centered just a little bit into that container. But we've done that on purpose, and you'll see how this evolves in just a moment as we bring the orchid in. So I've created that strong cluster of bamboo, and I'm going to bring that orchid over and just use the orchid. The bend of the orchid is already there, and I'll spin it so you can see it from both sides. Now another thing that I want to do is always look at it from the side, and this one's bending back just a little bit, so we want to correct that, and usually we can do that just by moving the stem of the orchid a little bit and by the placement of this bamboo. But see, that gets it straighter, so you don't want it leaning backward or forward too much in either direction. Now that I have completed that, I'm going to take just a couple of these pieces of grass, and you can or not glue this. It's really not important, I don't think, that this one be glued in because it's not part of the stability of the arrangement. But I just came to one side of that. This grass really is almost the center point of the arrangement. But I love how we've created all of this space, just one stem of flowers, a little bit of grass and bamboo, but yet we've created this large frame that takes up a lot of space without having to use a whole lot of product. Now I'm going to, as I mentioned earlier, use some more of this pea gravel to finish filling out the bottom of the arrangement. Now this is loose. I'm not going to use anything to glue that together because the weight of the rocks will pretty well hold them in place, and at the same time it holds the gives a little bit of weight to the arrangement and keeps it from being too lightweight, because that canoe is fairly lightweight, but by adding those rocks to it, we give a little bit of weight to it just to fill it all in all the way across. And you should have more than enough rocks in your kit to have this. And the whole idea behind myfloraldesign.com is not only to present these educational videos to you, but to make sure that you have all of the products that you need on hand. I don't know if you've been in the big box store looking at all the silk and permanent flowers, the containers, and thinking, what do I need to buy? How do I need to put these things together to achieve a great result? Well, I try to take all of that guesswork out for you by providing the container, the floral products that you need, and then this video that gives you the step-by-step process. I hope you've enjoyed this one today, and I hope you'll look on our YouTube channel, myfloraldesign.com or myfloraldesign on YouTube, and look at more of the videos that we have in our library there for your enjoyment and to give you the opportunity to create wonderful floral designs of your own. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. I encourage you to browse the library of arrangements and videos on our website, myfloraldesign.com.